Hello everyone, and this is your boy Asiyako. Yeah, man, and this is new beginnings. After a conversation with Aseko started as something that I wanted to shy away from mental health as a whole. So that's where I decided to start with this podcast. This podcast will dive deeply more into things that Mentimeterz couldn't. Things like your trending topics, your conversations like elections, conversations as things that I'm gonna dive deeply, things that I never thought I will cover on my podcast. So yeah, this is your podcast, your lovely host Asekho, and some of you might know that, as I mentioned, that Mentimeterz, it is a podcast that dives deeply on mental health. So, as I've seen how successful it was, the podcast initially, so I decided to do this one. And hopefully, I'll next time I'm here, I'll have a guest and we talk about conversations that are relevant not only to me but to us here, to us on campus as a whole, because I believe that this type of conversation we need to have them as individuals, as students, and start asking ourselves these questions of: is it worth it? Is it? Am I doing this just because I'm felt by peer pressure, sort of that? So yeah, this is the initial podcast, our first episode, which actually is the second episode because the first episode I did it in Cape Town with Aphiwe, Matyila, and Yandisa, Ndzeku, where we spoke about the movie My Father, My Responsibility, and I'm gonna drop a trailer now.
I've never had issues with you, Nicholas. In fact, you've proven to be a great asset for our business.
My Father, My Responsibility is a short film that we filmed during the pandemic, which was a really difficult time. Consists of a very young crew, and Yandisa and Ndzeku, a very talented filmmaker and the writer of the film, was really passionate about getting young people, raw talent, as he often says, and creating this platform where we came together over a weekend, literally in September 2021 during the pandemic, and we shot this film.
Which was the idea when I started the project. The concept behind it was for me to actually garner collaboration, because I felt like the industry there is really segmented, and people,
true.
Yeah, it's kind of clicky. People are clicking to their stuff, and then one is doing this one. But I'm like, we can bring all of these things together, because essentially art is art.
So it follows the story of a young lady called Jennifer, and she's a victim of circumstance. So a lot of the socio-economic things in South Africa are what Yandisa focuses on. So it's a one-day film, one-day, movie type thing, and she goes through a lot of pain, a lot of sacrifice, ups and downs. And so that's mainly what My Father, My Responsibility is about.
The idea is to get people on set and train them, give them workshop as much as we can, make sure that they are ready to play that character, and also to play any future characters that may come. And I do hope that people actually look at the movie and cast that talent, because the idea is to expose them to as much opportunities as is possible.
So the essence with the film and our objective was really to encourage local creatives. In the Garden Route, we have a number of talented people, but often the challenge is creating the platforms for us to create, for us to explore those. So Yandisa's main focus is how do we tell stories that have impact, but also create platforms for people that may not have gotten the access in the past to then be able to, explore their creative passions. So that was the main focus. And of course, with future projects, the idea is to keep doing that and to keep on trying to push against the boundaries and create. There's a number of people that really gave us support and were behind us with this project. George Municipality, first and foremost, the Garden Route Food Pantry that allowed us to shoot in their venue, stores like Security Superstore that gave us a number of things that we used in the film. So quite a number of people came on board, and we're really grateful for that. I think the support really helps with such a project, because with a short film that has no budget, you're shooting on, you know, equipment that you ask people for, you're asking for venues in order to shoot a scene. So a number of people really came together and helped us create this, and much love and much appreciation indeed.
Why do people always make me have to do this shit?
So, what I've noticed I've seen the movie when it came out on YouTube. Probably I'll drop the link on the description for you to go watch it. And it is very, I would say, firstly, I just want to say he has improved from tomorrow, and he has improved in terms of tomorrow, in terms of I wouldn't say the storyline per se, but also the, what do you call this, the way he moved the camera, the way the action is played out. I love the movie, and as much as it was short, and also I didn't know this, but Youngs was there, and one of the people that keep on inspiring me on doing more. And yeah, man, I hope that this trailer has gave you those goosebumps that want to say, no man, I want to go watch this movie. Yeah, man. So yeah, man, another thing that I wanted to speak about, actually this is an intro kind of vibes session. I'm thinking of making it 10 minutes. So yeah, man, and I just wanna share some things also after watching that trailer. And I believe that as individuals we have this thing of saying that it's not possible and not possible. And the reason I'm saying this is the fact that we had a conversation before the actual interview with Aphiwe and Yandisa, as where he spoke about the journey of creating that movie. As much as the movie is not the actual thing, but it is something that you need to. I feel like through watching this movie, I realized that as much as you don't have resources, but you can do what you can with the things that God has given you. And yeah, man, and you can turn those things into some kind of, how would I put it, in terms of success in general. So yeah, man, and the movie was nice, and I learned a lot. And for someone who is engaging in two different things, from doing poetry to podcasting to writing books to doing graphics to editing actual podcast and producing such podcasts as these ones. So yeah, man, and also before I just wanna also share. I just wanna share the thing, my book. That's my book. My book. This is my book. This is my book. Mental. Oh, sorry. I'm saying Mentimeterz. It's a lost collection of poems. Just a wonderful book that I wrote. See, it is even have a barcode, even the logo of my company. This is my company, Mentimeterz. You right, young advertising media. Young advertising media. If you think of publishing a book of all the stuff, you can hit me up, and yeah, at Young Writers Media outlook.com, whereas we can engage more on the conversation, and also or just drop me a DM on Instagram, Asekho. And yeah, man, yeah. I feel like I'm not used to talking to myself like alone in terms of doing this, but yeah, man, I hope next time I'll have a guest. If you want to be a guest on this podcast, you can hit me up, as I've mentioned it. Or you can DM me, Asekho, and yeah, man, I'm very excited to have you here on this podcast as an individual. And yeah, man, and also hopefully we're gonna engage on more. We're gonna engage on podcasts. We're gonna engage actually on conversation, important conversation that surrounds election, that surround the decisions that are made for us by the government. And I don't want to sound political, but and also I'll have a guest soon, whereas we're gonna be talking about elections, one, and why you should vote. So yeah, man, I think I'm gonna leave you here because I don't have anything else to say, but just a mini introduction of the actual video, of actually the actual first video of the podcast, because I believe that I needed introduction, make an introduction, because when I first released that first video, I didn't promote it as much, but now I'm promoting it because I believe that it is very important to introduce what you do and why are you doing it, and yeah, so people can capture your, I would say, your mission, your goal, you see, the problem that you're trying to solve. So yeah, man, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. And you know, we do vlogs, we do podcasts. Yeah, that's us. So you know the vibe. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Peace.